What if I told you that building real financial security has almost nothing to do with how big your paycheck is and everything to do with your relationship with, well, your stuff? Today, we're going to break down some super simple, minimalist financial rules that can help you build lasting wealth no matter what you earn. Let's dive in. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tear down this idea that a high income automatically means you're secure. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the hidden costs of just owning things. From there, we'll shift our thinking, build a system to make saving totally effortless, and finally, we'll redefine what it actually means to be wealthy. Okay, so to really get this idea of the income illusion, let's look at a tale of two people. They live in the same city, but their financial lives, they couldn't be more different. So, picture this. On one side, you've got someone pulling in 95 grand a year. Sounds great, right? But they're literally two missed paychecks away from disaster, living in a place crammed with expensive stuff they never even use. Then, on the other side, you have someone making just 52,000 a year, almost half, and they've got a year and a half of living expenses saved up. Their home is simple, intentional. So, what's the real difference maker here? It's not the paycheck, right? And this is the crucial point, the thing that changes everything. The person earning less hasn't just been better with money. They've understood a deep truth that the other person missed. Your wealth isn't decided by how much you make. It's decided by your relationship with the stuff you own. So what is this secret relationship between your stuff and your money? Well, it all boils down to a huge problem we're about to unpack. These hidden costs that come with every single thing you buy. Costs that most of us never, ever think about. It's a concept called the second cost. The first cost is obvious. It's the price on the tag. But the second cost is all the money that bleeds out after that initial purchase. And this, my friends, is where wealth secretly vanishes. Okay, so this second cost, it's made up of four parts. First, storage. You're basically paying rent for the space your stuff takes up. Second is maintenance, repairs, insurance, all that upkeep. Third, and this is a big one, is mental energy, the stress of organizing, cleaning, and just worrying about your things. And finally, the most important one, opportunity cost. Every dollar you have tied up in a gadget is a dollar that isn't out there growing and compounding for your future. Think about it like this. Let's take a home treadmill. In a lot of cities, just the square footage it occupies could cost you over $1,000 a year in what we can call implicit rent. You are literally paying to store something that, let's be honest, usually just becomes a super expensive place to hang your laundry. So how do we fight back against these invisible costs? It all starts in your head. It starts by changing how you think, long before you ever pull out your wallet. Okay, rule number one is to start calculating cost per use. Take a look at this. A $200 jacket you only wear twice. That thing costs you $100 every time you put it on. But a really good $400 jacket that you wear 200 times, that's just $2 per wear. So which one is actually the cheaper jacket? Thinking like this completely changes the game. Now, for all the stuff you already have, here's a super simple but powerful question to ask yourself. It's the replacement test. If this thing vanished right now, would I actually go out and spend my hard-earned money to buy it again? For so much of our clutter, the bread maker, the specialty kitchen gadgets, the honest answer is a hard no. They're just taking up space. And then there's rule number 3, and this one is a biggie in our culture. Stop upgrading just because you're bored. Getting the newest phone when your current one works perfectly fine isn't progress. It's literally wealth destruction. Over your lifetime, that one habit alone could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars that could have been working for you. But look, having the right mindset is great, but it's useless without a system to back it up. Because let's face it, willpower runs out. A good system, though, that makes the smart choice the easy choice, automatically. The whole strategy here is to rig the game in your favor. On one side, you create spending friction. Get rid of those saved credit cards online. Make yourself wait 24 hours before buying anything that isn't a true essential. On the other side, you create saving ease. You automate everything. Money goes into your investments the day you get paid. You make saving just another bill you have to pay. The goal is to make good decisions the default, not something you have to force yourself to do. Okay, so this all sounds good, but where do you actually start? Here's a practical plan, starting today. This week, just find 10 things in your house that fail that replacement test and let them go. This month, try the 24-hour rule. This quarter, get a real sense of what you own. Maybe count your clothes or kitchen gadgets. And then this year, do the big one. Sit down and define what enough actually means to you. Give yourself a finish line. And when you start putting these rules and systems into place, something really amazing happens. It leads to the final piece of the puzzle, a total shift in what you're even aiming for. We move away from just accumulating more stuff and towards something way more valuable. And here's the core idea, the big takeaway. Stop measuring wealth by how much stuff you can pile up. Instead, measure it by the number of choices you have. True wealth isn't accumulation, it's optionality. And believe me, this isn't some abstract philosophical idea. Optionality is real life. It's having the freedom to walk away from a job you hate. It's the ability to take 6 months off if a family member gets sick without panicking. It's the power to say no to projects that don't feel right. That's the real return on investment for every dollar you decide not to spend. You know, the coolest part of all this? It creates this incredible feedback loop, a virtuous cycle. You start spending less, which means you save more. As you save more, you start to feel genuinely secure. And when you feel secure, that little itch to go shopping to make yourself feel better, it just starts to fade away, which, of course, makes it even easier to save. It just keeps getting better and better. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to this one simple but profound question. Now that you know about all the hidden costs and you know what true wealth, what true freedom looks like, the choice is yours. Do you own your stuff, or does it own you?